Go make yourself. Go make yourself some tea. Actually, what you can do, you can clean the kitchen up if you want. I don't want to do it. I always do it. Oh, God. Hello, how are we doing? Jesus, don't be. No, I slept earlier. I slept and I got up not that long ago. You can tell because I've got nighttime here. But I just thought I'd come on and say good. Good evening from France. How are you going? There's a guy that does cafe races in France. He's got a good channel. I can't remember his name. He does pretty good work. I've got off another bike. I got off an XL 500 for free in bits. Okay. Enjoy. The weather's miserable in Yorkshire. Your weather should be alright at the moment, shouldn't it? Isn't there weather in England? Aren't you in autumn? God, I've got a lot of cleaning up today. I've got junk everywhere. I've got to clean up the garage too. There's no room in there, particularly if another bike's coming, which is going to annoy a few people, but what do you do? So I've got lots and lots of cleaning up to do, and so I go there to clean up, and then I see something I want to muck around with, and you coming in?
Other people, mate.
Oh, it's a few, just 10 or something, 11.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie. How are you going? I've just spent the last 3 days awake and I haven't slept.
Hello, how are you? You haven't been East Coast in the UK. Oh, right, so I know what you are. Hi, Charlie. Look. I said hi, Charlie.
Oh, sorry. I'm also dyslexic part-time. Hi.
You're not dyslexic.
No, I'm not. It's self-diagnosed.
Oh, okay. Probably because you don't sleep. Charlie's done an all-nighter. Been up all night, haven't you, Charlie?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Well, fun fact in Melbourne, we have the strictest coronavirus rules in the world. That's actually a fact. And
is it really?
Yes, it is. And I've spent nearly 6 months of this year unemployed, and that's been so fun. So I've been spending my time being awake and not doing anything. Good day, Charlie. Well, Mike. Hi. No, Mike. Oh, Mike. Hi.
Charlie. So
I also feel like
you apologize?
Yeah, I am very sorry for my language. Okay, Mark, we love you. You're a great subscriber, and we cherish your views.
This is what I produced.
I also swear like a sailor. It's not my dad's fault. My dad's a good Christian.
I never swear.
No, he doesn't actually, and that's a fact. Apparently, it's a.
I swear like a true.
Shit! Yeah. Oh shit.
It's alright. Doesn't matter.
Mark, you're making me swear.
If you swear, I won't. I've got to. I emptied my wallet out and I've got 400,000 receipts on the desk. So there you go. I've got to clean up in the garage, move a bench around. I've got about 4 videos in the make. Hang on a second, what do we got here? Hi, Charlie, your dad swore in the last live stream before this one. Yeah,
I know, I was there.
You there?
Yeah.
It was only about 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all good. So
I just appear around the house. I don't really have any hobbies, like recently.
Well, you should. You should come in the garage and cut metal and weld.
God, no.
It's better than playing with fingernails.
I don't play with fingernails. I'm actually a hairdresser. And I've created a business. Please support Farley & Co. I'm just going to plug my products in like while I'm here.
Thanks, Charlie.
Look,
everyone's left.
Everyone's left when I enter.
Potty Mouth Pete recording. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, it doesn't matter that much. It
does.
Who's this? Who's Travis? This is all your mum's stuff. She's Too much mess. So there's how many videos have I got? I've got 4 in the making at the moment. So there's one on auto light 4-barrel carburetors that I pulled apart. The patrons have got that, so I'll publish that today. I'll do it after this. There's 350 special. There's 350 the restoration bike, which I'm starting today. Painting cars is like painting nails.
I'm actually very good at painting. And I paint my nails. I pay someone else to do that.
Why?
Because I don't want to do that.
Oh.
I'd rather hire someone else to do it. Also, I painted my own furniture once.
With rattle cans.
It was rattle can paint, but it came out fantastic.
You're annoying.
I'm also the middle child, which means that I'm the least. I'm like not the favorite.
Charlie's the favorite.
I'm not. You should see how I treat my other sisters.
I don't treat your other sisters any differently from how I treat you.
Well, that's just not true.
That's just that's just not true.
Charlie with the MG. Yes, I have a brand new MG, and I spent a lot of money to be in debt.
I was driving that before we went and got pizza, and I took it up. It's actually a nice little car. It's very comfortable. But when you're driving a Starley around, you know, sitting on concrete, it's probably quite comfortable. But you know, life's good. So I've got to finish a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got to get the Ford out too. I want to start that as well, because that hasn't been started in about 18 months or 2 years or something. So there's a bit of work to do there. I've got heaps to do. I've got to clean up in the lounge. We've still got Mum's place here, clean up in the garage to make more room. Charlie goes through this thing of doing this whenever I complain about something. But I'm not complaining. It's just something I want to do. It's something that would give me a bit of pleasure, to make more room and reorganise things and throw out stuff I don't need. All that sort of stuff. It's a good thing. It's something I'm happy about.
Wait, the best videos I liked Blue Worsley. I did like that car very much, and I wish it was still here, but it's not. I also like the Morris that I used to have.
That was the first videos. The Blue Worsley was the first one.
That was the light blue one, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Oh, there was that, and there was a 14 horsepower one, which was that vintage car one.
Oh yeah, that you liked those too.
No, I passed it on to another club member. And he's finished it, but he spent a fortune on it. He got all the
Yes, thank you, the Mr. I can't pronounce that name. He does need to fix the Plymouth. I've been telling him every day to fix it because it's one of my favorite cars that he currently has. And he won't fix it. Also, I want it for my 21st birthday.
You're 21 now.
No, I'm not. I'm 21 in, what's the date?
Oh, 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks. Dad has to fix the Plymouth, which he won't do.
I've got to take all the front off it and put new body mounts in. I'm actually worried about that because I don't want to do it. And so that's the reason. And the Plymouth needs about 10 grand spent on it for an interior.
I've offered to pay for a mechanic to do it, a professional mechanic.
The mechanic couldn't do it. You need a trimmer.
Same.
But I keep getting small jobs to sort of keep me going. But and that's why I haven't done the XC, because it's bodywork. And I've just got to finish stuff off. It'll get done. I'm not worried about getting it done, but it's the Plymouth's a lot of money to finish. It only needs, I mean, even the bumpers rechroming, that's going to cost probably $1,000 a bumper, something like that. And the interior is probably going to be 8 grand, 10 grand. And the Plymouth's going to be 10, 12 grand to finish it. And then, you know, it'll be a kick-ass car, but it's just a matter of getting into doing that and coming up with that much money. And I can come up with $100 here, $100 there, particularly with the amount of projects I've got. But I can't come up with 10 grand. And so it's the sort of thing that when I eventually sell something, it'll fund that. But I've just not decided what to get rid of. I keep getting told I've got to get rid of cars and that sort of stuff. But when you put that much labour and money, well, not that so much money, but that much labour into something, it becomes a labour of love.
That is not true.
It is.
No.
Well, it is.
The Blue Bear.
What about it?
A labour of love.
I love doing that.
No, you haven't done anything.
I have. All I've got to do is the Bluebird. I replaced all the brakes on it. I pulled the dash out, put a new dash in, rewired it all, put a head-up displaying it.
Oh. And are you currently driving it?
No, but I will.
Oh, yeah,
The Bluebird.
And what about the Commodore as well?
I was using that.
And the Stigma?
I haven't used the Sigma for a while. But it's not about driving, it's about building them. Or sort of fixing them up is probably a better way of putting it. So the Bluebird, I'll daily that. And Rosie can drive the little Starly around.
I don't
For
think
now.
that is very safe.
No, well,
I drove
with
a
me,
I drove a Starlet for 2 years. It's not a safe car.
no, but with
And
On our
Dad
Ls.
goes up and down the street in it. I go like on the freeway and I nearly died like several times.
no, the hard drive, it's not the ticking, it's the camera. When you're playing back, there's a tick. It's not the hard disk. The hard disk is quiet. It's not even on at the moment. Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's not the drive.
I think out of everything, Dad needs to buy a green screen because this background's really depressing.
Oh, it's just a messy study. There's no messy than some other guys got there. But the Bluebird, I don't want a JB Camaro. JB Camaros came out in 1980-ish. They were Holden 1600. Was it 1980 or 82? I can't remember. It might have been 1982 Camaro came out. And they were touted as being a great family car. They were smaller. It was when the fuel crisis was on. And they had a 1600 family 5 engine. Those engines came back in all sorts of, like later Astras had them. The Europeans bought them. The engines lasted a long time. But the car had a bad reputation. Even though they had JB, JD, and JE. JEs were a 2-litre. They actually weren't a bad car, but they were already touted by a bad reputation. Camaros weren't bad cars. They never offended me. I just didn't really want one. Car of the year. Yeah, they got Wheels Car of the Year. And Wheels annoyed me. Wheels magazine, I used to read it and get annoyed with it, so I never bothered with it. It was a magazine back then. They were kind of pro-Holden, anti-Ford. They were a bit like that. They seemed to find a lot of faults in the Holden stuff, in the Ford stuff, but not the Holden. But if you watch Peter Warren, he was the other way around. He sort of, well, not the other way around. He was more independent. So I thought Wheels were full of shit, basically.
You know what car I really do like recently?
What?
The Utes in America.
Oh, like the El Caminos.
Yes, El Caminos.
They're expensive cars.
Also, Danny Trejo.
Oh, the old Indian-looking guy.
He's not Indian. That's racist. It's Mexican.
Well, it's not racist. I'm just probably ignorant, but it's not racist.
Yeah. So I really like that as well. I don't know why. It's only a recent thing. Don't hold me to that.
Well, they're sort of they're collectible now. They're quite rare.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not a car person, believe me, but like, it doesn't make sense charging like 70 grand for like a really nice car from the 80s.
Well, it does because people buy that stuff because it reminds them of their youth.
I know nostalgia is like a big selling point.
Well, it is with middle-aged men.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing with my age group creating live-action movies of cartoons that existed 30 years ago.
No, it's different.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's not. It's the same.
Where do we go? What does it say? I still think you should get a Ute with full-on Aussie spec rubars. My brother's got he's got an XR8 Ute. And he's got a hard back on it, and it's difficult. You can't really fit that much in it. Enjoy the frock too. So yeah, finishing off some bikes, getting back to the cars as usual. I'm having fun. I don't know. We're enjoyed a frock too. What does that mean, Matt?
Please tell us. I'm very intrigued. Also, I don't have a good grasp on the English language.
Rhubarb for the XD.
Not sure if you know.
Rhubarb's like a massive bull bar on the front. Do you think you'll get around to fitting a turbo to the Sigma?
Probably not.
Well, not at this stage, but probably eventually. It's the sort of thing, I'm an opportunist with parts, so I won't do anything. And then if I see something really cheap, I tend to grab it. So, for example, the 350 Special motorcycle, Barry Ford in Perth had a whole bunch of CB350s that he was restoring one. He had like 4 parts bikes or something, and he had a bunch of them, and one frame he had a compliance plate, and he said, "Look, how much do you want? How much?" Look, he said, "Do you want it?" I said, "How much?" He goes, "Make an offer." I said, $100. And he goes, "Yeah, that's fine." And I thought, well, and then I saw that engine. Well, I saw the engine first, and that was $240, and you can't even get a head, a cylinder head for $240. So I picked that up, and it was, now I've got that in the frame. I thought, oh, I'll get a powder coat. That turns into a bike. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I wasn't looking for it. It kind of just dropped in my lap. And I do that. So Sigma, if a turbo kit came up, I'd probably grab it if I had money, and just stick it under the bench, and then eventually an engine will come up, because I don't want to turbocharge the one in it. It's got 240,000. It'll probably blow up. It's pretty. It tested well. There was nothing wrong with it. But being so old, you know, rings are going to be. It'll wear very quickly if you overstress it. Hi Peter, I'm Geordie Campbell's friend. Sammy, how's it going? Hi Sammy, how are you
Hi,
today?
Sammy.
There's Sammy. Are you a kid from the school, are you? You can't be a kid from the school because it's 5:15 in the morning. You guys are asleep, wouldn't you?
Do you usually get students watching your videos?
They trolled me. They really trolled me. That's why I'm doing it now.
Okay, well, if any are watching like right now, hi. I used to do some of your hair. Hi.
Hi again from South Africa. Perfect timing for a
Love
live
South
chat.
Africans. We love all yous.
Oh yes, don't you dare. That's the worst English in
I
the
know,
world.
it actually is pretty bad. But South Africans.
No, we've got a couple of South African friends.
I love South Africans. You guys are the best.
Cornwall! Ah! Is that Rosie on your right? No, that's Charlie on my left.
The forgotten middle child.
They're not forgotten. Charlie is just
Forgotten.
Charlie.
Yeah.
And this is Yorkshire Gold, so look at this.
Yorkshire Gold. Okay, look. I never give my dad props or anything, but Yorkshire Gold is actually the best tea in the world. It's like Lipton, but like twice as strong.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's just a standard black tea. I haven't tried Proper Strong. They sell Yorkshire Gold Proper Strong here.
Hi there from Fenchurch Gully.
Fenchurch Gully, you're just up the road.
Love Fenchurch Gully. I love the wholesale markets there. Not the wholesale market. That doesn't make any sense.
You're talking about Caribbean Market. That's
no,
they're going to pull that down.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm talking about the veggie shop full of vegans. And they have a plant-based cafe there.
That's shut now, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's like whole meal or whole something.
Jenny's shop's closed though, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's like boarded up shop.
Is it boarded up, is it?
I saw it.
They used to have massages and all sorts of stuff there. Not bad massages, but yeah.
Good
No problems. Good news, my 23-year-old Honda CRV passed its MOT. Well done. So your MOT only goes for the 12 months, doesn't it?
Charlie's fine. Dad's like incredible. It's up for sure.
Alloy welding. God, that's something I can't do. I'm useless at that. Alloy welding. I wish I could do that. Good morning, Miss Anderson. Almost out of lockdown. Maybe. Okay, so today's Sunday the 18th.
I'm a little bit pissed off.
No, because you're getting your job back. So today's the 18th. So the Premier is making an announcement. So touted will be out of the 5K limit, and we'll have 20K. And 20K just means I can do everything I need to do.
But then again, I work like 40 Ks away, so it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. So it doesn't help you, but it helps the rest of us, which is kind of bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark's going for a kip, so he's going for sleep. Charlie, Charlie's went to bed yet. I have.
It's because I am a massive workaholic and I work all the time. Now that actually is true. Excuse me, I work 50+ hours a week. Okay,
You can't do anything around here.
Not right now because I'm like currently not working because of this coronavirus. But with me like working all the time, excuse me, don't swear, that's rude.
You are full of it.
I like to bet. You know what? I don't know. You don't deserve it.
Gumboots. I do. No.
I'm against gumboots.
Why
It's against my religion.
You're not religious, Charlie. You always tease Alana. My daughter's religious, and Charlie always teases him. Hi from South Africa. How are you today? Charlie's following Dad's sleeping pattern. Yes, we've already been there. And you're back. Okay, good to see you.
He was gone for a little bit, now it's back. That's what that means.
I thought he went for a kip, but that was somebody else, wasn't it?
That was someone else.
Yeah, they went off for a sleep.
Waiting through the crap.
Welding through the crap.
No, it's waiting through.
Oh, waiting. Sorry. Yeah. Are you talking about this crap that
Both
we're
of
doing?
us, yes. And both of us are dyslexic. Undiagnosed, but treatable.
Yeah, this is maybe there's not enough to say. Maybe we should bail.
Yeah, also there's like 20 people here, and it's like,
If you do it in the right time, you get 120 people. Like if you do it
oh,
at 8 o'clock at
oh my
night.
god, you were so blind.
So yeah,
Sorry,
if you
that's
do it at the
fine.
right time, you get a lot more. But everyone here is in bed or getting ready for work or whatever they're doing. I don't know. I just thought it was a good thing to get on because I'm wide awake and I'm having a cup of tea. And I did this 2 weeks ago, and I figured I'd do it again.
By the way, at 4:30 in the morning, I was about to fall asleep. Then Dad walked in and made a cup of tea and it woke me up.
4:30 in the morning, I'm making tea. Can you imagine that?
But no school kids at this time.
That's good. The thing is, there's I've had a lot of supporters locally. But last time I did one of these at a suitable time at 8 o'clock at night, I was just getting trolled. And they're just bored kids. Like before the lockdown, I never had that problem. And now I'll find out who it is because someone will tell me when I get back to work.
It's 21. Yeah, but
so what we got? It's 21:20, so it's 20 past 9 at night. Oh, British living in Finland. Awesome. That'd be cold there, wouldn't it? Finland would be terribly cold. So the fleet, XT, XWZC, and a VG Val. Wow, that's a nice stable. And you're going to come and go make coffee. That's good. Coffee works better at 4:30, yeah. But I'm kind of awake now. I'll get tired later on in the day. But I wonder. So it's 20 past 7 in England. I love England. It's my second home. Most of well, pretty much all my family from England.
I'm grabbing a stool and make myself comfortable.
Just like to say thank you. I was able to rebuild an old 351 Windsor for an F-150 using your videos. First project is successful in the first try. Well done. Just make sure everything's clean and measurable. Summers in Finland are quite warm, but yes, winters are quite cold and dark. Yeah. I remember in Lytham, I was in Lytham years ago, and in England, northern England, and there was still light in the sky at 10 o'clock at night. Not much light, but there was still light in the sky. Never seen that here. But yeah, the weather. People bang on about Melbourne weather, but I kind of quite like it. Are you interested in big engine speed? I fix buses. Yeah, you're a diesel mechanic. No, I don't want to do that.
I want to live in a bus one day.
Is that your contribution?
No. Okay, excuse me. Not sure if anyone here knows of tiny houses. It's usually people like that have a trailer and like they turn the house into it, blah 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 blah. And there's different types. And there's
the
people.
Size of a normal room. They're minute.
Yeah, they're tiny. Okay, like the size of this room, pretty much. And people like are converting their vans and living in vans. I love it when they like redo massive buses and they're like motorhomes, but like they're so much better.
John is in the middle of restoring a 72 CB750. My videos have been very helpful. Do you watch Hacker Week as well?
Who's that?
Hacker Week's an American from North Carolina, and he restored. I reckon he's. I fucking been there, Charlie. Shut up. And you're just pissing me off. And his videos I found very helpful when I did mine. He actually has really good videos.
I know what you're talking about. It's that guy that it's called Hacker Week.
Yeah, Hacker Week. His name's Dean Segovas.
Hi, Dean.
And he runs. He's not here, Charlie. He's the guy that. Will you knock it off? It's a K6. So, or K6 is 76 model, isn't it? I think mine's a K8. Mine's not a. Mine's mine. If I had my time again, I would have got a K1 to K6. I wouldn't have got. I wouldn't have got a K8. The carburetors are different. They got a stupid accelerator pump in them. They're harder to start. I don't know. I might put earlier carbies on mine. I'm not familiar with them. Hacker Week. So if you type in Hacker Week at YouTube, he's got about 100,000 subs. A lot of the stuff he does now is quite avant-garde. He does weird electronic things, and we restored a saxophone, and he started playing that. It's stuff that I don't really watch, but his bike videos were really good. Particularly when he was selecting bearings and all that, he explained it really, really well. Restoring an 87 Opel Kadett. Oh, wow. My garage shoes near the door. They froze to the floor one winter. Yuck. Opel Kadett's a German car, right? 87. Am I thinking of Opal Cadet? I might be thinking of Opal Record. I can't remember. Yeah, so you'll if you reckon my Dean's are better than mine, so how come one's better than mine? Can you imagine living in a climate where your boots stick to the floor?
I feel like that's every day for me.
This is mild. We're getting like 16 and 20 degrees. P400 need a rod and piston. I got
It's Vauxhall
given.
GM. I thought it was Vauxhall.
Opal is Vauxhall or GM, yeah.
Remember.
What?
No, I just knew it. Never mind.
What? Were you going to say something stupid?
No, because I always thought that I thought that Opal was like a type of Vauxhall.
No, the Opal's a German one. Vauxhall's English, Chevrolet's American, Holden's Australian.
Yeah, I know that.
So it's all General Motors.
Oh yes.
So actually, we got Opals. They got like the Opals got the little logo thing like that, and they came here as sold as Opals, the Astros. You wanted one, remember? Wasn't it you?
Very you cocksuckers.
We've got a camera on, Suze.
Mom, I pulled a all-nighter again.
I'm not happy. I was going to do a nice lunch.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it's not
wait.
lunchtime yet.
I know, but you have to go to bed to have lunch.
Yeah, but you would have slept. You had a good night's sleep, didn't you?
Have you?
Yeah,
I
I
like your
passed
hair.
out.
Yeah, but you passed out at about 8 o'clock.
I know. I put the telly on and I fell asleep.
You did. Good
I've
on
been
you.
awake. I haven't slept.
I know. I'm cross with you.
Well, sit down. We're very going crazy over lockdown.
I know.
Oh god.
Yamaha XS 1100 project. Actually, a guy's done.
People are mine.
There's a guy that's done.
Pussycats.
Go and let the cat in.
I just put her out.
Oh, she wants to come in.
in.
Okay.
Oh god.
So
She's
Mesmo Engineering YouTube
Oh,
channel. I've
Oh,
got my some of the subscribers. Mesmo Engineering is an Australian channel, and I think I don't know where he is. Is he in Adelaide? And he's just done an XS 250, and he did it with Motor Gadget kit, different speedo, and he made some different bodywork for it and everything. And he just finished it. He's got bugger all subs, like not many, and he's done it really, really well. He's actually, I don't know what he does for a job, but he's like an engineer. His fabrication skills and metalworking skills are great, and his paint as well. He's a really good painter. And he actually did a stripe up the tank and down the seat and all this sort of stuff. And he used lace. He actually painted it through the lace. He did a really good job, and that video just came out. I just saw it earlier, like last night. So I've never done an XS. I don't know much about GSs and XSs, like the Susie's and Yamahas. I've always been, when I was a kid, I was into the Honda stuff. So it's like, it's just stuff I'm more familiar with, I guess. I mean, they're all the same, really. I mean, you can, once you've done one, you can probably suss out the other, but I don't really know. I haven't spent much time doing it, but I don't think I'll get another full-size bike for a while. I've been given an XL 500 from Dave. I've got a video, which is just, okay, I'll come in. Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys. Bye.
See you, Tony. Do you want to take that with you?
What do you want from me?
Well, you're going to want to put your feet on
I
it.
can't tell which is the
Charlie, stop it. Just take it.
Oh, Dad.
I can't remember what it was. So David has an XL 500 and the engine's in bits. Someone's tried to make a bobber out of it, and they've lowered the front end right to the point where they've got 7 inches of fork poking out through the top tree. And it's got this sheet metal bobber kind of seat, and the engine's out of it and in bits, and the frame's rusty. It's surface rusted. And Dave's got pretty much everything there. He hasn't got a seat, he hasn't got a speedo, he hasn't got the lights or anything like that. But he's got the rest of it, like the bones are all there. And he said, do you want it? And I said, well, let me do it for you. Because I figured, because he doesn't want to spend much money, because his XL, that 250, I took it for a ride down the street yesterday. And it's all registered now, and it's beautiful. Like it's certainly powerful enough, and it's smooth and all this. He put a heavier clutch in it, and I had trouble between first going to neutral. I wasn't kicking it hard enough to get it into second, but He offered me this. So anyway, look, I filmed it. I'm not ready to take on another one. I've got the Honda and the Suzuki are ready to finish, except even today the brake rod for the back is too short for the Honda. I've got the wrong one, so that was and when you buy bikes that have been half converted or half finished projects, your bits are always wrong, and that's happened again. So it doesn't matter. I'll just do it when I do it. But I figured if I get this other thing and just stick it on the bench like the 350 Special, it's just something to look at and something to come back to, if you know what I mean. Because I do like chopping and changing, which seems to piss everyone off when I do it. But I like the variety. I actually really, really enjoy it. Fall asleep on the couch? Yes, I certainly did. Well, Suzanne went to bed early. We never go to bed at the same time anyway. She always goes early and I always go late. And I fell asleep and I got up and I like sleeping on the couch actually. It's quite often my back gets sore and the couch is really supportive. It's very comfortable. If I've got a sore back, I'll go and slip and lie on the couch. And without the intention of sleeping, I might be talking to one of my kids or something like that, just lying there. But then before you know it, you're out. Because as soon as I'm finished here, it's 5:30 in the morning. I might have some toast and go outside. It's Sunday today, so I haven't got work. I do have to write lesson plans for tomorrow. I haven't written any yet for tomorrow. And you're supposed to do them a week in advance, but sometimes I can't do them because I'm sort of trying to figure out where the kids are up to and how fast they get through certain bits of work. So I'll do it as I can. Yeah, I get sore, and sometimes the couch is brilliant. The couch is just so much better than the bed. The bed, if I'm in bed too long, I get sore in there too. Do you plan on selling any of your completed projects to make room for other ones? I should. I'd sooner sell a house. I'd sooner move, and we've talked about that too, and get something with a bigger shed, because I can't even build a bigger shed here. But moving from here would be a pain. It's just we've just got so much stuff. I filled up outside. Suzanne's filled up inside, I'm going to get a haircut too. I've got this horrible COVID hair. I didn't even wash it last night. It's dirty. So the problem with selling projects, and I've had it before, is you put a lot of work into them and then you kind of miss them. It's a stupid thing, but by the same token, I have superannuation for when I retire. But I also figured if I had some cars that were worth some money for when I retire, that's a great way of getting cash back. But I think before they give you the pension, they actually do an assets test and they're probably failing. Because the XW, for example, is valued a lot higher than what it costs, and I built it, or put it together. And so assets tests are never that fair. But they seem to do that with people when they retire, which I reckon is a bit of a bummer. But anyway, eventually, look, I will sell some. But I agree, better than money in the bank having classics. I really do, because there's what's happened with classic cars, and it also worries me at the same time, is the value since 2007 has gone nuts. The muscle car craze came back in the early 2000s. And so you could I picked up a 302 XC Fairmont for work, for the kids at work, to get it going always, and it was $100. Right, $100, and that's a Fairmont, and it had all the chrome trim at the front and everything. The stuff I'm chasing now for mine, that people ask $400 just for a trim now, and it's ridiculous how things have gone up. But as fast as they go up, they can crash again. And the thing that worries me, and I've had this conversation with a friend of mine, Gibbo. He's the guy that gave me all the books and the carvies and all that sort of stuff. The problem with those is that the new generation of kids coming through now are going to be more into JDM stuff, which has already got a huge hold now with a lot of people, even people my age, are kind of getting into the JDM stuff, and I get that. So it makes me wonder what's going to happen to the value of cars like XWs, XBs, XCs, all these sorts of things. I reckon, I've spoken to two guys, one didn't agree with me and one did agree with me, and I reckon they're going to fall. I reckon they're going to fall, and I reckon they're going to fall a lot too. So it makes me wonder about the XW. Do I let go of it? I would have trouble selling that. That was a tribute car I built to for my dad, like, because he died 30 years before I finished the car, which was crazy because he had an XY, he didn't even have an XW, and it was a 6-cylinder, it wasn't a V8. But I do worry about that sort of thing. Having said that, if I sell it, you know, that'd be great. I'd pay off any. I've got a couple of small debts. I'd pay all that out, and you know, but then the money's gone. And if you invest it, quite often it won't make as much as what an old car would, because at the moment you're not getting charged capital gains tax on old cars. You're getting charged capital gains tax on property, and you're getting charged capital gains on stocks and shares, but you don't get charged it on cars. They were going to do it. That's the only reason our Liberal government now got in, because the Labor government, which was the opposition trying to get in, was talking about increasing capital gains, including art, because a lot of people invest in exotic cars and art, and they wanted to tax that and do something else with people's super. And that was the only reason the current Liberal government got in. No one liked it, or at least a lot of people didn't like them, but they weren't going to mess with people's nest egg. Hope to see the XC Fairmont going soon. Yeah, I'm going to pull it out and start it. Hi Peter, Mike from St. Louis. Is it Louis? St. Louis or St. Louis, Missouri. What would be your favourite American-made car to restore? I love the Ford look, Chryslers. There's a lot, actually. The American Fords, the two-door Fairlane hardtops are just gold. The Fairlane GTs and stuff like that. The Galaxies, I love those. I've had a Galaxy, should never have sold it. There's all sorts of American vehicles pre-1980 that I really like, particularly pre-1970, but the 70 stuff's really grown on me, the American stuff. I don't like American cars from the 80s though. There's something just happened in the style, which was such a radical change from what it was. But the American, from the beginning of cars, you know, from the Model T prior right up to, you know, 1980, that whole area of time, I think the Americans were just the best at what they did. But yeah, the shape of the Cadillacs and the Fords and all this, where they had the roof line coming down, the back window just fell, and there was no real. I didn't like the style of those. But even then, I've seen a couple advertised, and they've got these beautiful retro, super plush interiors, your 80s Cadillacs and all that sort of stuff. And even Fox Body Mustangs don't bother me. I have one, but I just prefer the earlier stuff. But it's very easy for me to be impressed with an American car. You did a ZD for Mum, then it got knocked off. Yeah, doesn't it just make you want to kill the people that did it? I can't stand that. There was a guy, I used to work in a survey when I was at uni, and a guy had a K-code 351XY. A K-code's a 351 2V. They're very, very rare. A K-code 351 XY sedan. It was a Fairmont and had a factory sunroof, and that got knocked off. And that car now would be worth a lot of money. Like in the 90s, it was probably worth 20 grand, you know, or 30 grand maybe, you know. Now that'd be, actually it wouldn't have even been worth that. It probably would have been worth, 20-something thousand. Now that car would be worth, they'd be asking 100 grand for that. I remember it was a bronze wine one too. Knocked off, his stolen. Yeah. Someone took it. And the classics, the classic won't last them. You can fix a classic. And now with CNC machining and computer-aided, you know, drafting and 3D printers and all this, you can make parts. You know, I mean, and even engine blocks. If you can't find an engine block, you can get a dart block. These are the times for doing this stuff. I just worry about the value, that's all. Having said that, on the XW, that was what I was talking about initially, if that was to, the value to fall, it would have to fall to 27.5 before I'm losing money. And it wouldn't, I don't think it would fall to that. But I just think the huge amount of money that they seem to command at the moment will finish. So the car wise, I won't be taking on too much more in the meantime unless I do sell something. I've thought about selling the Commodore, the wagon, and I'm just getting told by everyone, don't sell that, I regret it. And then I drive it and then sort of fall in love with it again and all this sort of stuff. Because it's a manual wagon, you don't see many of those. And it's only got, I think, 50,000 Ks on the clock. So Rosie's about to start driving. She hasn't been able to get her learners because there was a hyphenation on her surname when she was born. It was Duncan Anderson. Susie's name was Duncan. Mine was Anderson, and we got married. And I think we got married before Rosie was born. Whatever the case, Rosie's name was hyphenated. I thought it was fairer to do it that way. Because when Susie and I were married, I said, you don't have to take my name. You can keep yours if you want. I didn't like that men expected women to take their names. I thought, yeah, you can just keep your name. But it's caused all sorts of issues with going to get, not when she was young, but with the kids trying to get licenses and all this sort of stuff. So Charlie had to be Charlie Duncan Anderson on his license. Never had Duncan in the surname at all. But because it's on the birth certificate, it meant to be on the license. Classic car values, very fad dependent, yeah. Did you see James made a video on his 308? He's got a Ferrari, isn't he? Interesting opinion on classic ownership. For me, nothing better than 70s Ford, but that's my childhood era. That's the thing. It's your childhood era, and that's the same as every bloke. They get mushy about their past when they were kids, and their uncle had this or their dad had that, and I'm exactly the same. And the problem is, that I don't think that'll change. I think men will always do that. It's more men that do that than women. But the men who are being born like Charlie's 21. So Charlie will probably prefer cars that aren't. I mean, not a good example, I suppose, but the average kid today won't have much to do or won't have seen XYs and stuff like that. North Queensland, hi Dave, how you going? I've got a few people. I've got 25 people here. I just came on to say a quick hello. ZD feeling, yeah. When I bought the Galaxy, was looking for an XY, and I had $6,500 to spend, and I looked at a grey XY, and a grey with a red interior, which is unusual, like a blood red sort of colour. Very unusual colour scheme. It was in North Ringwood, and I looked at that, and I wanted 6,600. It was pretty rusty. On reflection, I should have bought it, but I thought I didn't like it. It was a 6-cylinder. It was column manual, I think. It was really bare bones. It was a Falcon 500. It wasn't a Fairmont. Did I say Fairmont? It was a Falcon 500. And I remember going to have a look at the Galaxy, which has like little wind-out quarter windows, power steering, a big block engine, 9-inch rear end, huge spacious car in much nicer condition. And that was 7,200. And that's why I bought that. Big block. How old am I? I'm 54. Do you reckon anything being sold today, exotic and accepted, could ever become a classic? Certain models. It depends, right? So you'd never look at a Starlet, a little Toyota Starlet, as being a classic, but you still see a lot of them around, and people are turbocharging them. And if it's a model of car that people can mess with, they probably will become desirable to some point. What's being built today? I don't know. Certain cars keep their value better. Corollas, for example, the AE112, which is like a hatchback thing, 4-round lights, they still command, in a lot of cases, more money than what subsequent models do because they look better. Some of the I like the little Polo, yeah, I've just seen VW, Polo GDIs, stuff like that, little pocket rockets, particularly two-door ones. It just depends on how many were sold and how desirable they are, I guess. I like Polos, I reckon they're a great car. But yeah, some cars will. I mean, I can't imagine it because I haven't lived it yet. And certainly first model Teslas and stuff like this will probably get classic status. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting because I don't really know what to expect. but it just depends on the model and how popular it was, and that sort of stuff. So, you know, people are still very fond of the old Fords and Holdens, but yeah, I just worry a little bit about how long for. K55 Corolla, yeah. In fact, Datsun 1200 fastback things, two-door ones, they're actually worth a lot more than the Corolla two-doors from the 70s. Datsun 1200 is worth a lot of money, and even the Utes, stuff like that. They made little 1200 Utes. A lot of that stuff is really, that Japanese stuff's getting very expensive. I imagine first generation Honda Civics would be. I don't know, Honda motorcycles, yeah. Particularly the single overhead cam stuff at the moment. But the trouble with the bikes, sports bikes haven't changed much since the 80s. If you look at certain sports bikes, a lot of sports bikes are cheap to buy because they just look like Transformers. But certain bikes, cheap as Z900s, you know, stuff like that from the 80s, pardon me, they were incredibly fast. They were the fastest bike I think you could buy at the time, and they were even quicker than the 750 turbo. I think the 900 was quicker than those, and so people thought, why spend extra for a 750 turbo when you can buy the 900? So it's, yeah, BMWs, E36 BMWs, any of the BMW M's, like the M3s and M5s. Those first generation M5s are worth a fortune. The 6-cylinder ones, they were doing 100 k's in 5 seconds flat, and they weren't even bloody turbocharged. The Z900, fastest in a straight line, was it? The Z900 I thought was earlier. I think in the 70s it was, but what about the 80s when the GPZ came out? Yeah, E39's M5. That's the one. Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of. The early M5s. They were really quick. 5.5 seconds or something to 100. They were really quick. I don't know what a ZZR 1100 is. CBX 1000, yeah. But even CBX 1000s, the dash and everything's pretty ugly. But it's just that iconic 6-cylinder bike. RE5 Suzuki's the same, the rotaries. You know, water bottles or the kettles, the water buffaloes, whatever you want to call them, the GD 750 Susans. A friend of mine's doing one up now. That Z1900 would have been a rocket ship. They were in Mad Max, I think. They were in Mad Max, weren't they? I think they were. I think that was the Z1. Genuine Z1900s are going for 20,000 here. If you can find one. They were Mad Max, yeah. I remember those. But you didn't miss much. No, the 350, I've got two of them. One, the restoration one, is I'm going to start it today and see how we go, see if I've got my float levels right and all that sort of stuff. And the 350 special, I'm still waiting on the Sprag idler gear for the starter, the reduction gear for the starter. And that's, I'm just plugging away with that. And also the other thing I said was I was offered an XL500 for free, so I might just take it. I don't know. 750, GD 750, they are a beautiful machine. They are. I've never ridden one. I don't know how fast they are. I imagine they'd be a lot more mellow than the old Quacker Mach 3s and, you know, 750 triples that Kawasaki were having, but I don't know. 70s, yeah. 70 and 2-stroke, all classics. But yeah, it's like I was saying before, I just wonder how long there'll be classics for before the next generation of cars and bikes becomes more desirable. I don't know. Yeah, no, GD 750 was a 2-stroke, that's right. They're a triple, water-cooled triple. Beautiful retro-looking thing. They are. I've not ridden one. Had a GT250. The front end of my T250 is GT250. Seems to be that the brake overhaul caliper, the brake overhaul stuff is quite a lot dearer than the Honda, which surprises me. But that bike's finished. Andy's headlight got here. I've ordered some globes. I've got some globes for them, so that bike's ready for roadworthy. Except the friggin' brakes. And I bought all the stuff from Cruise and Image in Japan, and they've been reliable today. And now the bastard's not answering emails. and I've sent him several emails. The latest one was give me a refund, thanks, because I found out Japan aren't exporting anything at the moment, and he didn't write that on his site, which I thought was really average. And I ordered and paid for this crap at the beginning of August. That bike should be well and truly finished, and I've had a gutful because I can order parts ex-UK and get them in a fortnight, or get them through Japan, which is closer, and not get them at all. So I'm really angry about it. But I thought, you know what, I'll just count my losses and buy the stuff from England anyway. And then when the other stuff from Japan gets here, I've just got surplus again. Yeah, XT500s, definitely. Yep, they were. So yeah, well, the one I'm getting is an XL, and it needs, the only thing wrong with the engine, as far as I can see, is the crank. Is the crank rod's got too much play in it, so I need a rod kit putting in. But I thought I found a crank with the rod, and it said it was in excellent condition for $250. I thought that'd just be easy, just get that and stick it in. But I can't buy any more bike stuff at the moment. We've got Charlie's 21st coming up, and there's registrations and all sorts of stuff. So I'm coming into deer and deep water. So no, Cruise and Image, they're not sending. Well, they can't. I think there's a. I think they've got a postage strike. They're not accepting anything from or sending anything to the United States. And I think I read a thing. I read a thing that said they're not. There's a postage ban anyway over there, but he didn't write it on his site when I ordered. If I'd seen it, I wouldn't have ordered through it because I needed it, and I just haven't got anything. XR 500 crank or fit, yeah. I've just got to find one. The XL 250 was a beauty. That was David's. I rode it today or yesterday. It's registered on the road now, and so I took it up and down his street, and it rides so nicely. It's so nice to ride, and it starts easily, and it's cool. It finally got there. That nearly did my head in because I had to pull the engine apart so many times, and there was that knock in it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's all fixed now. It's all good. So yeah, it's all good. 10.8 second quarter, 135 mile an hour. Is that the Z900? Is it? No, that'd be the ZZR, wouldn't it? Hang on, who wrote that? Oh, Z1900 did that. Wow. You've got every XR model from 75 to 600. Are you kidding? Do you collect them, do you? Wow. I had an XR 75 when I was a kid, and it had an 86cc ball kit in it. And it didn't use, that's impressive. It didn't use circlips on the gudgeon pins. It had these nylon caps that went in, so you could just change a piston out in about 10 minutes. God, that's impressive. Every model XR. What's your 75? Is that the early 75s are worth a lot of money, I think, aren't they? The K, they had a pipe, an upswept pipe on them. You never see them. I haven't seen one in years. So yeah, I'm still playing with the bikes. I'm enjoying the bikes, but the garage cleanup's going to take precedence. I've got a lot of work to do in there. Got to chuck a bit of stuff out, and there's a car engine, a starlet engine sitting under a bench, and there's a whole lot of stuff that used to be in the kitchen under a bench, and that's all got to get moved, and bring the 750 over the other side where the other two bikes are, so I can sort of reach it to work on it. And oh wow, Kay had the old SL tank. Hang on, which one is this? Oh, okay. I think I know what he means. But yeah, so just still plugging away. I'll give it another 5 minutes and I'll pull the pin. It's been pretty good. Having a nice chat. I like doing this. I like doing it this time too. You don't get trolled. So KO is that? Is that what your XR is? The 75? Every model XR. That's cool. That's good. My friend and I used to go into Peter Stevens all the time in Ringwood back in about 1980. We had this, and I can't find this. We had a big Kawasaki motorcycle brochure with every Kawasaki bike and the prices. And we used to just open it up in class. Craig Travis is his name. He still rides now. We used to open it in class, and we never heard what the teacher was talking about. We were just sitting there looking at these bike brochures, swooning over which model we'd have. And the Z1300 was new then. That was the biggest one. That was on the top. But I like the KLXs. I had a friend with, my brother had a friend with a KLX 250, a brand new one at the time. That would be an 82 model. And it was great. It was so talky. It was lovely. I remember riding that. And I was like a little kid. Oh, you're on Facebook. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. A bit of the Excel. I don't know when that'll come here, but it's just a shabby thing. I'll release a video today, later on today, about it. Oh, hang on, what's you got? Your Piastra Resistance in my collection is the Mick Doohan tribute bike, an RM50, same as his first sponsored bike. Wow. What are you talking to me? I've got crap bikes compared to you. You got good stuff. Yeah. No, that's all good. So yeah, I'll get the Excel frame here and I'll start. I might just get a powder coat it just to get it done and make it look good. Suggestions on colour and that sort of stuff. I'm not going to do a stock build on it because it's missing too much of the stock stuff, so it's going to be difficult unless I can get. I think sometimes the older stuff comes up, the cards and that sort of thing. But I'll start on that. The 350 resto is getting started today. That's nearly finished. The Suzuki N8 is nearly finished. The XC's got to come out and have the other rest of the door seals fitted, and there's some stuff that's inside that needs to be refitted as well. I built 19 Holden 1-tonners. Jeez, you've been a busy guy. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff. I got given some stuff from a friend. I've spoken to him. Some stuff I will sell. So there's a 4-barrel Holden intake manifold and a Rochester quadrijet, which I might put up for sale because I've got nowhere to store it. I'm tipping, I don't know whether to get the carburetor and manifold hydroblasted and plated, the hardware to make it look good. So the new owner would just have to put gaskets in it. I don't know whether to do that or just let it go the way it is now. But anything like that that's sold off that came from him, the money will go back to him. So I've already told him that. Because he goes, no, don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, I will give that money back. But that's the only thing I'm thinking of getting rid of at the moment because I haven't got any Holden bouts and I'm not going to get any in the near future. But that's about the only thing I'm thinking of getting rid of for now. So anyway, look, it's been almost an hour. I'll say thanks very much for joining me. I'll go and get another Prague, Czech Republic. You subscribed in the last month, loves the videos, watched a few, more to watch. Thank you very much. It's lovely to see. I need all the subscribers I can get because I lost a lot when I started doing the XL and I got off the cars and started doing the bikes. I lost a lot of subscribers. Then you whip a computer out, you lose subscribers. Then you whip out a washing machine or whatever else I've done and you lose subscribers. But to say the least, the Patreon people have been really loyal and I've been really enjoying that. So yes, thank you very much. Your email, yes, okay. Good on you, and thanks for joining me. Thanks, Gunther. That's wonderful. Your email is, I'll just write that down. I'll send you an email now, and thanks, Tony. Thanks very much. I'll send you an email now, and it'll just say hi. Oh, Rick, you are loyal. I didn't even know you were there. Lovely to see you. Yeah, so Dave, I'll send you an email now, and then you've got mine. But I'll just go and do that before I forget. Hang about, where are we? Because I've got a useless memory, and there's so many emails in here I've got to answer to. So if I just go compose, come on, and you'll get one from me if I can open it up. Oh, there it is. Oh, gosh. I'll just send you that, and then you've got mine. And if you need to contact me for any reason, that's fine. Right. Yeah, so you would have got that now. I've just done it. So thanks very much as always. I was thinking of doing these sort of feeds, probably a bit more common than I have in the past. I've kind of enjoyed them. But anyway, take good care of yourselves, and I shall chat soon. See you later.